The July 25, 2010 Enbridge oil spill into Michigan's Kalamazoo River was the largest and most expensive on-land oil spill in U.S. history. Unbeknownst to local citizens and first responders, Enbridge was pumping diluted bitumen, or heavy crude, through southern Michigan. That's the same kind of oil as tar sands crude that comes from Alberta, Canada. But when an oil spill happens, the bitumen crude separates from the chemicals. The oil becomes heavy and sinks, and harmful chemicals like benzene are released into the air. Those chemicals sickened Sue Connolly's family and many in Marshall.
Very strong odor in the air, just took your breath away.
Fumes cause you to get nauseous and have extremely bad headaches. And I had headaches for about 2 weeks, which caused me to repeatedly vomit and throw up over and over and over again. It basically would never go away for about 2 weeks. And I actually puked so hard I detached my aorta off my stomach. I had 3 pints of blood that built up into my stomach to where I almost bled to death as a result of it.
Why do you think that happened?
Oh, I know it's from the fumes of the oil spill. Basically what happened is daily I had to breathe the fumes. And the ABC News and the Channel 3 News and all of them basically said it's just, you know, fumes, you'll be okay. You might have a little headaches, a little nausea, but you'll be okay. Well, I wasn't okay, and they lied to everybody.
Did they ever try to evacuate you?
No.
Saying that they were helping you by putting you in a hotel that was closer to the river than what you are right now?
Right.
And right now you're probably, I'm guessing, yeah, so you were closer than that. There's a lot of people that died from this. A lot of people are sick. I mean, bad. We had 200 people show up, me and Michelle, at this meeting we had. Almost 200 people that are sick, and a lot of people couldn't come. A lot of people already signed gag orders, so they can't speak out. And they can't sue because they've already signed confidentiality agreements and health agreements for $1,000, $2,000, whatever, because they got screwed. They didn't know what they were doing. And they signed this stuff, and it says for all future medical. So even if it's another situation where they get this oil from swimming, they can't sue. And their kid died. So, I mean, this is bad.
It's insane.
It's insane, and this is all about money. And you live right next to the oil spill, is that correct?
That's correct.
And did Enbridge ever evacuate you?
No.
Did they ever offer you anything?
Yes.
What did they offer you?
$250.
$250. Now, didn't you get sick from this?
Yes, I got sicker.
And what did your doctor say?
She said that's where it came from, the smell. It affected my asthma real bad. And then they had to put me on oxygen.
All of these exercises in gym that I just can't do because of the oil spill.
I feel bad because they breathe these chemicals in, and it can cause leukemia and cancer and stuff.
And I don't know what all the symptoms of it are. I mean, him alone, he's had 12 ear infections in 15 months.
Wow.
We've been battling for quite a while now. Respiratory problems. He's been on nebulizer treatments since he was a baby.
Yeah.
You know, they're saying he's pre-asthmatic, and I don't know if that...
Well, it happened right after the oil spill, right?
Yeah, not long after, yeah, because he was born in May, and it happened in August, so he was only a couple months old.
Her side of her face was smushed. Her right eye was very puffy, and it looked like she had a black eye, and her jaws completely offset, and one of her nostrils was closed.
And you were pregnant during the oil spill, is that correct?
Yes.
After the oil spill, you had a miscarriage.
Yes.
And you said it was...
It was bad. I almost ended up dying. My liver, spleen, pancreas, uterus, and gallbladder had gotten infected, and the hospital told me if I had gotten there 6 hours later, I probably would have been dead.
Jim, why are you here today?
My 6-year-old son is in treatment for leukemia.
There's like 900 students in the whole school. I've seen 5 different names of kids, elementary school level and junior high level, that they were talking about how they had leukemia.
I know 5 people in this neighborhood within this single block right here has COPD. And I never had COPD before.
I lost an uncle due to lung problems.
I get the worst case of heartburn in the world. Never had it in my life. Never.
A seizure.
I have a tumor in my spine, and they found multiple cysts in both my lungs.
With migraines, and I get dizzy,
just not even doing anything.
My throat has been burning since 2010. I have earaches. I have to take Topamax to get rid of my headaches. I've never had that in my entire life.
I mean, I know I'm not faking my headaches, and I don't know if it's caused from the oil spill or what it was caused from, but I know I've never had them until in the last couple of years.
After the oil spill?
After the oil spill.
It sucks. My boy died from different causes, we think, you know, seizures. He started having seizures last December. Last November, December. And he died of a seizure in the house 3 days before she died from cancer.
All right.
You know, I got 2 in 1 week at Christmas.
My memory is absolutely shot.
And you said your lungs are really bad?
Yep, I was just diagnosed with emphysema. They said I had the lungs of an 83-year-old man.
And you were fine before that?
And I was fine before that.
I had to give my children's father CPR myself to save his life. He had 1 seizure in front of the kids at home.
We've had, I believe, 6 people that have died here. We just had another person 2 days ago die at Baker Trailer Park.
I noticed some problems with my lungs that I never had before.
Right.
You know.
And I believe that's from all the chemicals you breathe in.
Yep.
Severe headaches, nausea, fatigue, forgetfulness, all of it.
What was some of your symptoms that you had after the oil spill?
I had 3 seizures at the other house and 2 seizures where I live now.
And then my son actually had an episode where he looked like he was having seizures, passing out. I even took him to the ER.
I got migraines. I had a seizure for the first time in my life.
Grab a bag of cheese.
This is why we have to stop Enbridge and these oil companies from doing this. They're having seizures and they're getting sick from this tar sand oil.
One former worker is doing everything possible to get his story out there.
They were trying to meet deadlines. So what they would tell us to do is take dirt, put it over the top of the oil. They were telling us to take mud with oil and throw it into the woods. They were telling us to rake dirt over the top of oil.
And he says because he wouldn't do those things, he was fired in October after 2 months on cleanup operations. But Bolenbaugh believes the so-called smoking gun is near Talmadge Creek in Ground Zero in Marshall.
I just wanted to prove that this is all oil. It is all oil. This is not mud. Mud will freeze. They put this canvas over the top of it. This is just plain old canvas. They put grass seed underneath it, and what's supposed to happen is the grass will grow through.
No, that is not oil. That's sediment. And that's what he's standing in is mud.
I'm at a different area just to show you what's going on. Dig the sand out that's covering it. Yep, there you go. Whole creek. I mean, we're not talking about one spot. We're talking about an entire creek is buried. All the oil is underneath this sand.
So they told you to cover up the oil.
Yeah.
They didn't tell you to clean it up. They told you to cover it up, plant grass over it.
Yes.
Well, I would like to say that I worked on this site up until about this point here, from there to here.
All right.
And once I mentioned something about the oil, that was my last day, and the crew continued on without me and finished this site out.
In reality, it wasn't. It was just a skim over.
This is the Kalamazoo River, November 5th, 2013. We're 21 miles away from where the spill happened in Marshall, Michigan. But this is what they're telling people right here. Eat safe fish from the Kalamazoo River. Fish are part of a healthy diet.
It's still happening. I'm still there to fight. The lawyer said, wait, I got pictures.
That's oil right there.
That's oil right there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, so we're gonna show you, this here is contaminated, full of oil. All through there, you can see how it's completely black. Then here we have a catfish. It's got a tumor right in over here. Oil spots everywhere.
So who's eating them? Who's eating those
now.
delicious fish? Nobody?
Nobody now. I would have been if I would have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have still been eating them to this day because they said it was okay for us to eat.
And once they said the spill was cleaned up already, I let her swim and drink and everything out of the river like she always did before. And now we have this massive tumor on her chest.
Oh my God. Look at how much they're digging out. They buried all this oil, and now because of my videos, they're re-digging it out. Just wanted to show you I'm 5'10", and this is deeper than me. That's how much oil was buried and now being redug up. Can you show the creek? I mean, all through here.
So I would say absolutely, you and all of the people that have actually supported you along the journey have a big part to play in causing them to now come back and get this thing right.
The oil and gas industry, the dishonesty that these people possess and the things that they do that are detrimental to communities is almost beyond belief. And they have no compassion whatsoever. They have no honesty. They have no pride. And they're worried about the bottom line. The bottom line is the bottom line.